channel, you're also making money because as that's the opportunity that YouTube gives to people. So whereby you create channels, you have followers, and based on the number of views you have on those channels, you're able to make money from that. So I think just to make it simple, social media will give you the opportunity to drive digital marketing. Beyond that is also an opportunity for you to use those platforms to sell. And beyond that is also to make money, whereby you are bringing out information, and in turn, you are making money based on views and people that listen to information that I bring
Great.
forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, to agriculture, Mr. Adama. The question is, herdsmen and terrorists attacks are affecting farmers' productivity. How can other states without same soil type as the North farm to avert food crisis? The question is that herdsmen operations and terrorism is affecting farmers' productivity. So how can other states,
where it creates an opportunity if you are in a state where you don't have that crisis, or where some of the state governments have proactively, they have anti-grazing laws in place and are managing it, then it's a big opportunity for you. And, for you to really play within the space. And because today, we are a net importer of food, whatever you do within that space, if you are producing, whether crop, whether animal, whether fishery, the market is there. As the pastor mentioned earlier, the market is large. And if you produce and you get it right, like I said earlier, the market is there and you will always be able to sell. Now, to take advantage of that opportunity, you then need to, first of all, know how to be able to deal with the logistics. The inflation, the food prices is being fueled by the farmer herdsmen, and the second component is logistics, which has always been there anyway, the cost of transport from the points of production to point of sale. And so if you are able to deal with that, sort out the logistics such that when you produce, you are able to move to the point of sale, you have a huge opportunity there. And in doing, decide to even play within the logistics space. If you have people who produce and have difficulty moving to the market, you can decide to just play within that space. You can support them with technology, with innovation. So the opportunities are really tremendous, because right now you have to be able to figure out what can I do to play in.
Okay.
A lot of these challenges, governments needs to deal with them,
right,
but the challenges, will continue. But there are opportunities within those challenges.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, to our daddy PKP, there's a question that, do you think that the current exchange rate is a true value of the Naira? That's one. Then another person says, a bank rejected a property in Warri as collateral for a loan oil and gas project and asked for Ikoyi or Lekki. What should I do?
Okay, thank you very much. He's asking me the question that is for the CBN governor. Basically saying, what do I think is the right exchange rate for the Naira? You see, the exchange rate, at the end of the day, it's a demand and supply situation. Nigeria, about 90% of our foreign exchange comes from oil, and we do a lot of importation. The rate now, well, black market is roughly about, I think I heard that's about 560, 570. At one time, it was about 585. It has come down. Why has it come down? Because there are people that monitor the foreign reserve of Nigeria. When we were struggling and battling at about 32, 33 billion US dollars, the rate was a bit higher. Now that the foreign reserves are over $40 billion, I think about 42 billion, it has come down a little bit. But I think it is next year that we will actually see the real play between the naira and the dollar. Why next year? Next year, all going well. Now, you might not like Dangote, but I will say pray for him. Why? Pray that his refinery succeeds. Because that refinery holds a lot of promise for Nigeria. You know, the quality of how it has been built, how much has been spent, we have gone beyond. CBN governor, you know, how much do we spend on oil importation, on refined products? That FX is available. If that FX is available, more industries who had been queuing up to get dollars regularly, able to get dollars more regularly. And don't forget, apart from the refinery itself that supplies diesel and petrol and other things, there are maybe another 14 to 20 other products that are going to come out from that refinery that Nigerians are using money to import. That will help us a lot. And that will affect the exchange rate of the naira. And you know that there are many refineries overseas who make money out of Nigeria importing fuel. So they will not want to see that refinery completed. That's why I'm saying pray for him. You know, but ultimately Nigeria will win.
All right.
You know, so if you're asking me, I will say give us the second half of next year. You know, let these things be in place, and you will see a different Nigeria.
Okay. Can you touch on the second question?
Second one is
somebody had a landed property at Warri and wanted to use that for as a collateral.
The reason is very simple. You know, it is how easily can you sell property in Warri vis-a-vis selling the one in Ikoyi. You know, because even the one that you have in Ikoyi, if you want to sell it, the people will take you to court. You are going to fight to sell it. Because when people are owing you money and they don't want to pay, they will put some. It's like you have a tenant who doesn't want to pay your money. The man takes you to court. It might take you 4 years to get your money back. You'll be begging him. So that is why.
Okay, thank you very much. To agriculture, there's a combination. I'm just trying to combine the question. You've not talked on.
A major problem that they face is post-harvest losses because food processing companies that are really big, the likes of flour mills, Olam, even within the dairy sector, there is really an increasing push to try to backward integrate and have a number of your inputs produced locally. Those are the people that will really be able to solve the warehousing or the logistics problem. Because if you backward integrate and you're working with smallholder farmers producing some of these inputs for you, then you lies. It's not, if we're looking for the government to solve that, that's going to take time. But it's really private sector. It has to be private sector led who see that as part and parcel of their supply chain, use input for you. Then you can have specialists who support them. And then you take care of the logistics, the warehousing is all part of your supply chain management problem. And
right.
System. If you have that, then we'll be able to, make some headway.
Good, fantastic. We are about to round off, but before we go, Mr. Eberioji, I want you to talk about, somebody asked, what do you advise about the brain drain that is happening in all sectors of the economy? We see most of our young adults relocating to different parts of the world. What should be done?
I don't think anything can be done. The truth of the matter is that people migrating for economic reason will always be there. And what's important is that individuals just need to assess their particular situation. As we said earlier on, the world is becoming a global village. Skills are becoming more tradable. So if you upskill yourself such that if you migrate to any part of the world, your skill will continue to be relevant, that will be the case. In Nigeria as well, skills are also in scarce supply. Strangely, we have many Nigerians, but if you're in the business I am in, and when you're looking for specialist skills, you discover that lots of people, but very few that are skilled enough for the need, even in Nigeria. So as far as I'm concerned, for individuals, if you continue to upskill yourself, your skill will be needed in Nigeria and elsewhere around the world. And because you have really limited time where you can work productively, it does make sense that if the opportunities are not here for you and it is elsewhere, by all means, you should go. So all I'm simply saying is that it's all a skills game, and if you have the skills, your skill will always be needed. For Nigeria, if we lose a lot of people to brain drain, then we need to train those we have so that they can fill the gap, because we don't have a problem with numbers. We just have a problem with those who are really skilled to do the job.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you very much. Just to add to that, because we will be running off, we may not go around again. Do you advise the investors in Nigeria to go into renewable, given the expectation that of energy transition? And what kind of renewable do you think will be very lucrative, given the time that we are in? Because a lot of countries, everybody's preparing to transit.
So the simple answer is yes. With 400 million people, today with 200 million people, we have serious energy deficits. With 400 million people by 2050, that energy deficit will widen the more. We're going to need all energy sources to be able to meet the needs of 400 million people. Just think about it. So we're going to need renewable, we're going to need oil and gas, we're going to need all energy sources. What energy area should we invest in? I think we should do a lot more with solar, because we are blessed with very many number of months with solar energy available. So we should, anybody who wants to invest today, I will advise that you invest in solar, because that's easy. Wind takes a lot of capital, and other renewable sources, thermal energy and all that, they take a lot of capital. But solar, you can start small and grow with it. I think to solve Nigeria's energy problem, we will need to go away from our major grids to mini grids. I think that's what's going to happen. And if anybody is sitting here of investing, they need to look into that space where you can bring in your source of power, either from gas or from solar or from whatever, and provide it to a small community of people, give them reliable 24 hours power that may not be connected to the national grid, and you guarantee that and they pay for it. If Nigerians have constant power, they are willing to pay for it. The estates in the Lekki corridor have proven that concept, that when there's power, people will pay for it.
All right, great. Now, looking at 2060, for net zero emission, and other even developed countries have talked about 2070, that they are not ready till 2070. Now, given the Paris Agreement, and Nigeria supporting it, what do you think is that feasible, 2050, to attain net zero?
The simple answer is that nobody's right for the president to put a stake in the ground. We need to walk back from that, 2050 to say, what does it mean for us today? What do we need to? It just drives the pace of change. But in terms of what is actually going to play out, nobody knows. We've had Vision 2020, and you know what happened with all those SDG goals and all of that. But by the end of the day, it's the determination and the commitment of the nation, Nigeria, to face the reality that global warming is here, energy transition is here. We cannot ignore it, but we have to approach it in a reasonable way. Africa needs to solve our energy deficit problem today before we join the global bandwagon of our trying to achieve net zero. That's
excellent. Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Now, to the IT, quickly, somebody asked, is there any regulating body for EdTech you mentioned? I'm working in building and interactive content just for career for our graduates.
Beyond that is also schools. You can see schools today, whether colleges, primary or whatever, they're also leveraging this EduTech platform to be able to speed up within their schools. So as EduTech is concerned.
Our pastor, in your final words, please, can you just talk about the bank bits?
Well, in one word, I would say banking that you see today will be totally different type of banking, and the skills that will be needed will be different. The types of investments that you do will be different. So it's an area you need to study very carefully. Banking will still be here with us. You can't do what it might be different kind of bank. Maybe the banker of tomorrow is not going to be a human being you are talking to. It's a robot who will be asking you, good morning, Mr. Quinton, what can I do for you today? But it's not a human being. That's the future that we see.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together to our panelists. Justice to all the questions. Gas sector has been very informative and impactful. And thank you so much, Anthony Shola. You have done justice to the IT and communication. We appreciate you, and we say thank you for being with us, for your time. We know that we have overshot your time, but God will bless you real good. And next time, if we invite you, you always come back. However, we still have a couple of questions that are there that we cannot address. Please, if you've not been able to touch your question, perhaps we will transmit it to the panelists responsible, and you'll get answers to your question. Thank you very much. And at this point, we come to the end of the panel session. God bless you real good. Yeah, thank you.
Praise the Lord. We are gradually coming to the end of this convention. You agree with me, it has been an awesome time. We thank our women that are also here with us. We recognize your presence. We also recognize the people that are watching us online on our social media handle, TOD House of Favor, on the men's website also, and on the Zoom platform. Wherever you are in the world, we welcome you, and we declare that you are going to be a winner man and a winner woman in the mighty name of Jesus. At this point, we are going to go straight into our award presentation. This is the first edition of the award we'll be doing in Lagos Province 46 during the men's convention. And we'll just be doing one award today. The reason behind it is that all the logistics have been put together, and we did not take as many as possible. We want to be a surprise in next convention. So we also use the opportunity to let you know that the Men's Convention Award of Province 46, I will welcome the following people to collect the award.